Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this Google Hangout. Thank you for joining me on this Monday morning, and hopefully you can learn something about digital marketing. It's going to be a pretty quick overview. Should last about half an hour. At the end of that, there will be an opportunity for some Q&A. So if you want to hang around at the end and ask me a few questions, I'll do my best to answer them for you. But basically, this is just a overview of digital marketing, and in subsequent weeks I look to being able to offer some more in-depth views of some of the areas that we're going to be covering today. I'll get straight into it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share a screen with you, which is my PC that I'm working on, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run you through a case study of a client that we do some work for and give you a bit of an overview of digital marketing. Can I just confirm, I just want to make sure that everybody can see my screen, and I might just get, if you can, just pop something in the chat comments on the side of your screen, just so that I know that you can see it. There's an opportunity to use the chat button just to the side of your screen, and hopefully you'll be able to just say, yep, I can see your screen. Okay, so I believe everybody can see the screen. That's okay? All right, great. So here is our client. The client's called Getaway Merimbula, and they specialise in offering accommodation to, it's a holiday accommodation. There's a whole range of accommodation available, including holiday homes, and they're based here in Merimbula on the south coast of New South Wales. So basically what we're looking at here is their website. We didn't build the website for them, but we do all the digital marketing. So everybody's goal really with digital marketing is to try and get their website found. And of course, most people head up to Google to do that. And if we typed into Google on the screen here, Merimbula accommodation, we're going to get a whole series of results on this page. Now, I'm not sure if everybody's familiar with this, but the ones in the top part here, they've all got ad next to them. That's part of the Google AdWords program, as do the ones down the right-hand side here. And you can see an ad for Getaway Merimbula appears here. But also, probably more importantly, is that this site ranks what we call organically, which is using SEO techniques, pretty much #1 for this. So these ads which appear over here are all paid ads, and this area here is actually owned by Google. That's part of the Google Motels platform. So what we're looking at here is Getaway Merimbula coming up first in organic search results. I'm just clarifying, everybody can see that okay? Terrific. If you've got any problems or questions during it, please just pop something in the chat box so I know that you're not following or it's not working. So this is what we call search engine optimization, search engine marketing. They're the two areas that we're going to start with here. But the main thing that I think I want to let people understand when you talk about digital marketing is there's a whole lot of different areas that you can use for digital marketing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to log into their Google Analytics account here. If you're not familiar with Google Analytics, it's basically just a reporting system. It's free to subscribe to. You just go to Google Analytics, sign up, add your website to it, and you can you have to add a little bit of code to the website. But once you've done, you'll be able to get all this data back from your analytics account. And obviously this is private, for use when you log in. But there's also one really great way under Google Analytics, which is you can share the information, but you share it privately. So you're only sharing it to compare against other sites. And what I mean here is it's called benchmarking. So if you go in and have a look at the benchmarking, obviously you have to create some data, so you have to have a site that's been running for a while. And here what we're looking to do is we compare, this client is actually in the travel industry. Okay, so we add travel. Sorry, and we add hotel and accommodation, and then we select Australia, all regions. And what we're doing now, as you can see, it's going to say they're comparing the information of this client site to 332 other businesses that provide hotel and accommodation in Australia and have an average between 100 and 500 visitors per day. Okay, so it's basically comparing it to other similar sites. The information we're getting is shared privately, so we can't actually go in and see who these other sites are. But what you can see here, for instance, is this is a comparison to other similar sites, where they're getting their traffic from and how much traffic they're getting compared to others. So for instance, they're getting Getaway Merimbula is getting 2,237 visits per month. This is in a 30-day period from organic search, as opposed to the benchmark, which would be 3,236. So they're a little bit below average. We could narrow this field a little bit further down and look at, so in total, if they're getting 3,600 visits per month, okay, it's about, it's a little over 100 a month, but we're on the lower end of that. So if we changed it to 99, which is probably a closer comparison, we can see that we're getting significantly more traffic from organic search, more traffic from paid search, more traffic from referral search and direct from other similar sites. Okay, now that's a benchmark, so you're really only comparing it to other sites in similar, but what we always want to focus on, of course, where the traffic's coming from this particular site. And so when we look at this site, we can say, okay, we have a total of 3,900 visits in the last month, 2,292, so 58% of them are coming from organic search. So when we go back here, that's somebody typing in something like Merimbula accommodation and then clicking on this ad, sorry, not this ad, this link here and going to their website. So that's not paid search, it's what we call organic search. The paid search, which we're going to talk about in a minute too, which is these ads, okay, Google AdWords, they get roughly 500 people per month. Direct is when somebody actually either types in your domain name or links to it from a bookmark in their browser. 385, 127 people come from an email campaign, which is actually low because we haven't sent an email campaign in the past few months, but we'll talk about that in a sec. And then finally from social, so you can see this client clearly getting most of their traffic from organic search. Okay, so how do we get organic search? How do we actually get to the top of the search engine like this? And I'll use this common term because this is the most frequently used term in this area, Merimbula accommodation. How do we get the site to rank up here using organic search? Basically, that's under the premise of what we call search engine optimization, or now getting a bit known to as website optimization, which is the same sort of thing, but it works, it's just used different tactics. So what I'm going to do here is we've put the Getaway Merimbula site into some software here, and it runs it through and it marks it on a whole range of items. And this is the same sort of thing that Google's looking at when it's looking at your site and trying to compare it to other sites and how they rank. I'm just going to quickly duck back to make sure we don't have any issues. I haven't got anybody pop up and say that they can't see it or they can't hear it. So hopefully everything's going okay. So search engine optimization, SEO, it ranks the website on a whole number of features. So Google's actually looking at, if you haven't seen this before, you can do a right click on a site, go view page source, and you'll get all the information that Google's actually reading. Because Google doesn't actually look at the pages we look at, the way we look at it, it looks at the content and the text. So for instance, the title, you can see the page title. When we go up here, it says Merimbula Accommodation, Houses, Holiday Apartments. Okay, Google's actually reading that here from the page title. So meta, title, that's how Google gets that information. When we look at, say, for instance, the results that in Google, so when you've typed in that and you get this part here, okay, we've got the page title, but we've also got the description, and the description here comes from this here, which is basically meta description. So that's where that information's coming from. And keywords are the words that are linked to this site in terms of the way Google's looking at it, trying to read it. Now, there's a lot made of SEO content about how effective it is and all the different methods. I'm not going to go into SEO in great detail today because it is a highly complex topic, and we wouldn't even touch the surface in half an hour. It's just really more about letting you understand the different types of digital marketing, of which SEO is one of them. And you can also see here that the Google Analytics tag, which you need for the site to be able, you need to have on your site to be able to get this Google Analytics data, is embedded into the site. Okay. There's also other content in here, which is the menu, and basically all the content that appears on this page, whether they're images or whatever, and when we talk about images, you'll see the importance of how we present those images to Google is contained in that view source part of the page. So coming down back through the SEO again, we're looking at things like, excuse me, for instance, H1. A H1 tag is probably the most important piece of information on your whole website. A H1 is just short for heading 1, so it's the largest heading on the page, and you can see that part here, Sapphire Coast and Merimbula Accommodation Specialist, that's a H1 tag. Now, if you don't have a H1 tag on your website that clearly describes what your business is and the service that you provide, you are going to be definitely marked down with Google. It's very important that you have a H1 tag on your site that describes clearly the service that you offer. Okay, the name of your business is not really that relevant unless you're trying to rank for your business name, but generally you'll find that in most cases, like, you know, whether you're an electrical supplier or toys or whatever, most people don't search on your name. They search on the product and the service that you provide. So in this case, we're talking about Merimbula Accommodation and the Sapphire Coast. So what we've got here is the title tag. We've got the meta description. This is how it displays in Google. We've got some headings here, H1, H2, and you can go right down to H3, 4, and 5. They're the smaller ones on each page. So this is a H1. This is a H2, okay? This also could be a H2, but in a different color, right? So they're very important to have on your page and will affect your SEO dramatically. Then we've got the keywords. So keywords are words that are searched for by Google to see the relevance. So if we look at Merimbula, for instance, this one appears 31 times on the homepage, which you'd expect, which is a lot. It also appears in the title. It also appears in the description, and it also appears in the headings. So there's a lot of relevance there. For instance, the word beach appears 15 times and it appears in the description and the heading, but not in the title. So if we wanted to increase our searchability for the word beach by itself, we'd have to concentrate on having it a title, but that's one keyword. So that more likely what we're looking for is people are searching. We don't necessarily want to rank for beach by itself. Tura Beach we would like to rank for, but also Merimbula Accommodation, here's the one that we're really focusing on. The words Merimbula and accommodation side by side appear 5 times. It appears in the title, appears in description, appears in the H1 tag, which is what we want to see. Now you can see these crosses down here. Don't be alarmed, because basically all it's saying is the word, or these key phrase, if you like, just stone's throw, okay, appears 3 times, but it doesn't appear in the title or description of the heading. If we wanted to appear for that key phrase, we could by increasing those, but they're obviously things we're not trying to appear for. Now, the thing I mentioned about images too, so what this has found is there's 103 images on this home page, and a number of them are missing what we call an alt image display. Now I'm going to try and find one, because a lot of these are like arrows and bars and things like that, which are not that important. But this one here, for instance, this could be an important image to get an alt tag for. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to bring that up in its own web browser here. That's this image here. Okay, we've shown which images. If we go back to the site, that's this image here. So what's happening is, if we go to the view source code, and if we do a little search for that image, you'll see these images. What we're finding is they don't have what's called an alt image description. Okay, and what that basically is, I'm just trying to find a good example of one that does have it, is, see this one here, the image banners, which are the ones which actually appear in the header here. It says the alt name is Marimba accommodation. So basically what you do is, if you click on these images, you'll see that this image has an alt tag, a Marimba accommodation. So what that basically means, and this is, I don't want to get too technical with it, but what it's basically telling you is, when Google looks at this image, okay, it's actually seeing the word a Marimba accommodation attached to this image, rather than the title banner1.jpg. It's actually saying, well, that might be the actual image name, but what it's related to is Marimba accommodation. So having alt tags for your image files is quite important. You can see there's a number of them missing here, so there's work for us to do on that site. These other ones about grey bars and things, they're going to be your they're going to be some of the just these little buttons and things that appear on the side of the page and things like that. So they're not as important, okay? But yes, it's important to have an alt image tag for SEO purposes. Going a little bit further down the page here, you can see it's talking about the text to HTML ratio. I'm not going to go through everything on this, but basically it's just saying it'd like to see a little bit more text on this page, and that's a fair assessment as well. So you can see as we go through all these areas, there's bits that wherever there's a green tick, it says we're matching what Google expectations is. If there's a red cross or an orange mark, it's saying you could probably improve on this. But basically what we're doing is we're going through and having a look at the site, and it's saying, you know, how relevant is this site to the search? And of course, when we're using the example of Marimba accommodation as our keywords, it is relevant. We've got frequency, we've got, it appears in the title, appears in the description, appears in the H1 tag. So that's SEO for you in a nutshell. And as I said, we're not going into great amount of detail for it. But basically, if you want your site to rank well in Google, not as a paid ad up here, but organically down here, you need to have your site run through a system like this to give it a score, to rank it, and to see how your site's assessing, how your site's performing in Google's eyes, and see where you can make some improvements like that. I'm going to give a couple of options and offers later on, so just hang around because there might be some something that I can offer you there too. So now I'm going to look into the AdWords. So this is basically the paid ads. These are the ones that appear in the top. These are positions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on. So at the moment, this ad's appearing at about position 12. But what we're going to look at here is for the word Marimba accommodation. This is our AdWords account in the past 30 days. Okay, their ad has appeared 962 times. That's an impression. Okay, that's how many times this ad has appeared in this position. Or what we're looking at more importantly is the average position here. The place that this has appeared is position 7.5. So if we go back here, position 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Their ad on average is appearing in this position here. Okay, so the ads appeared in the past 30 days. It's appeared 962 times, but it's only had 6 people click on it. Now that gives you a low click-through rate, which is 0.6%, okay, which is low. And for that particular keyword, we'd like to get a better click-through rate on that. But you can see up here, for instance, the word Marimbula by itself has appeared 21,000 times. 300 people have clicked on that, and that's got a click-through rate of 1.4%. Okay, just to give you some idea, if you look at the name, for instance, if somebody typed in the word Getaway Marimbula, their ad would appear in position 2.3, so it's going to appear higher. It's appeared 21 times and 7 people have clicked, so there's a much higher click-through rate. And this is one of the things with AdWords, is if you're competing for words which are very competitive, obviously in something like this where Marimbula accommodation is an example, you can see booking.com, the holiday parks, What If, Trivago, TripAdvisor, Stays, all these people are trying to bid on that. It's very competitive, and usually what you find is the cost per click is high, the click-through rate is relatively low, but having said that, you can get a lot of traffic from it, and you can also get a lot of bookings or conversions, as we like to call them, in this area as well. So this is Google AdWords. What would happen is when somebody types in the word Marimbula or Marimbula accommodation, one of these ads will appear, okay? And you can see, just going back to the site here, this one says Marimbula accommodation, biggest range, best prices, book online and save, okay? Biggest range, best prices, book online on save. So that's the ad that we created in AdWords, okay? Those ads appear when these keywords are typed in, and then when people click on those ads and come through, we can start to get some traffic and look at getting some sales out of that as well, okay? And that's probably to go into more detail on another day if we were just talking about AdWords. But that's basically how AdWords work. As I said, somebody types in this key phrase, you've used that keyword, you want your ad to appear, your ad appears here, they click on the ad and go through to your website. So that's paid ads, this is organic search. The other things we're going to look at here in terms of where the traffic comes from, so we had organic search, paid search, direct and email and social. So one of the ways you can really boost traffic to your website is by creating good content. So content is basically text, like blogging, it could be videos, it could be social media sharing, but here's a video that we created for the client using content marketing. I'll run it just briefly so you can get an idea. This is about whale watching and why you want to come to Marimbula. It's a short video, it runs for a minute and a half, and there's a blog story about that, about why you want to come to Marimbula and go whale watching. The video content that we created for this is part of digital marketing. It's also a fairly specialized part. So I'll just stop that there, but you can see this video that we've created was created on YouTube. It was uploaded to YouTube, and then so it's searchable in YouTube. If someone was typing in whale watching Marimbula or something like that, that would be searchable in YouTube. But then we take that content, we put it back into the website here. Okay, we create some text around that as well, and then you can use that in social sharing and in your email. So here's an example. So here's the Getaway Marimbula website. Obviously we're featuring whale watching this month, so all these posts here are about whale watching, but you can also see that we've created a link to our newsletter. But here's the video that we've uploaded to Facebook, and we've done it as a boosted post. So we've created an ad where we can, with a fixed budget, okay, we've used a budget of $120, okay, and so far it's reached 19,000 people and 10,000 actions. So actions is basically people clicking on this button. So what we're doing is we're creating the content, we're sharing the content, it's going out through social media, and also the other stop which we've used is email marketing. So we've got I'm just going to bring this up here. You can see the campaign which we sent out to clients that are on their email list. This would have appeared in their inbox as an email. There's a short story, the link to the whale watching video, some information about the provider of it, and a special offer which basically says if they come and stay here, they get a free whale watching tour. Now that's gone out as an email to the clients, and they're going to click on that, and that traffic we can monitor. We can see how many people of the 3,700 people that it's been sent to. We've had 940 people open that. 25% of those people have clicked on something, and we can also see which links that they clicked on. So this is using an email marketing tool, and we can see that 113 people clicked on this. We can actually find out who they are too and how many times they clicked. But I won't go into that detail because that's a little bit of a privacy thing. But so that campaign has been like what we consider a successful campaign there, because as I said, 3,700 people it's gone to. It's been open 940 unique opens, so people have opened it more than once, and they've clicked through at a reasonable rate as well. So that's all traffic which is coming back to the website. They would be coming back here, they'd be looking at the video, they'd be reading through it, and then of course the call to action here, which is to book online, and here's the special deals, and they can book their accommodation. So basically what we're looking at here in a nutshell, these are a number of different ways that we can use digital marketing to get traffic to your site, to get them to take some sort of action. And of course the sale that results, the booking that results, or the goal, or the conversion, which we like to call it in digital marketing, is the key. Again, we could talk about conversion marketing as a way of getting the most out of your business, but for today it's really just getting an understanding of the different types. So basically what we've covered off on is organic search, paid search, email marketing, and social. There's a few ways that you can use that, and the other one which we sort of, it's not a source of referral, but what we consider, or what we call content marketing, which is basically creating text and images, and then using that through social and email marketing to get traffic to your site. So that's a bit of a, I'm just checking, we've still got everyone here. Yep, we've still got the same amount of viewers we started with, which is great. But that's an intro to digital marketing and the ways that you can use it to get traffic to your site. Obviously, I'd like to go into a lot of that, those areas in a lot more detail, and I'd be happy to do that, and I'm going to do that at a later stage. For now, I just want to see, has anybody got any questions? Because there should be an option on the side here for Q&A. You could flick up a question and ask me if you want. If there's any quick questions, I can answer those for you now. No, that's okay. So what I'd like to do is, obviously, if you've enjoyed this, it'll be great if you come back. This is shareable, so the content that I've created in this Google Hangout gets automatically uploaded to our YouTube and Google Plus account, so you can share this existing one with other people. You can come back and watch it again if you want. But also I'm looking at doing this on a regular basis, where we would go into depth for each one of these areas a little bit more. And that would mean so that we perhaps just run a half-hour session on SEO or a half-hour session on AdWords. But for today, what I'd like to do is just say, if you're interested in finding out any more about any of this, you can visit our website, which is solutions4.biz, no .com.au or something. There's an option here where you can just basically fill out a form and say, look, I'm interested in finding out more about SEO or whatever, fill in the details and send it. But I'm also going to make an offer, which I'm happy to do. So two things. Firstly, the first person that fills out this form on SEO optimization and gives it the web address, I would do a free SEO assessment of your site. So we'd run it through this software and do a free SEO assessment of your site. Now, if you wanted to, We could even do that as a live session as well. So that's offer number one. And offer number two is if you're interested in using AdWords for your site, then I've got a deal which basically is, if you spend $25 in the first month on Google AdWords, we'll give you an extra $100 worth of advertising for free. So again, if you're interested in that, hop over to the website. You got two options: the SEO optimization, which you can ask, and the first person to fill that out, I will give a free SEO assessment of your site. But if you fill out the Google AdWords one and just mention this special offer, I can give you a $100 bonus of worth of Google AdWords advertising if you spend $25. So I hope you've enjoyed that today. I just quickly checked back to see that there's no questions appeared. It doesn't look like it. Thanks very much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed it. Sorry about the little issue we had with the wrong web address for the Google Hangout. That's Google's fault, not mine. But thanks again for joining, and I look forward to seeing you again, perhaps at another Hangout soon. Cheers.